Hello, everybody. San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's Sunday video, I want to talk about Wall Street Journal writing about CRISPR and more. And of course, this is brought to you by Yair from Twitter, who's been an amazing user for this community. So thank you again, Yair, for this thread. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go over it and we'll take a look at it. So, an excellent Wall Street Journal article is finally addressing the elephant in the room, which is that multiple cutting edge therapies are emerging, such as gene therapy and CRISPR, which require special skills to deliver them, and not enough doctors knows how to administer them. I think this reminds me a lot about the internet, early days, software developers and so on, right? You had this technology came about. You had like this first wave of developers on Microsoft OS and a Mac, but the internet changed the whole thing, right? So you need a new set of developers, and this is something very parallel that I see going here. Some of these gene therapies are administered through lumbar punctures, which aren't a routine part of doctors' daily practice. In addition, the virus delivery platform may lead to potential immune complication and will require close monitoring alongside with logistical aspects. Okay, I just find it amazing that in Wall Street Journal you have like literally CRISPR gene editors that can cut and rewrite and replace faulty genes and other novel approaches. I mean, it's just crazy how CRISPR is mentioned now in these types of article, right? Wall Street, is there anything more popular than legacy media than Wall Street Journal? I mean, maybe the New York Times, you know. When it comes to business, for sure, the Wall Street Journal is the most popular one. Maybe behind Bloomberg or beside Bloomberg, who knows? An attempt to address the problem which was made by Spark Therapeutics, which has developed the first ever ocular gene therapy used for the treatment of patients which inherited a retinal disease caused by mutation in both copies of the RPE65 gene. Okay, so they're going back to here, back and forth with Spark Therapeutics here. Another example is the Center of Rush Medical in Chicago, where doctors receive training on how to run clinical trials and deliver therapies. After a year of practice and hands-on experience, the doctors can go back to their own centers, which will help train other doctors. I think this is good. This is good. I think that's good. This is why I think governments are gonna need to get involved in this wave, right? They have to give more funding. They have to get more doctors in. I don't know what's the best way to get more doctors in. I mean, we all know immigration is not the solution, considering in Canada, for example, if you're coming from any of like outside of like dozen countries, you have to basically go through the whole education program again, even if you were a doctor for like 20 years in your country. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the most viable way, but maybe admissions being less stingy. I don't know if anybody here has tried to become a doctor. They would understand my latter statement there. So another serious bottleneck is that hospitals infrastructure, since hospitals don't have enough space and support staff to rapidly enroll people, nor sufficient amount of doctors, specialists needed to administer the high complex drugs, therapies. I would argue this is a healthcare problem. This is a problem that's been here for years, decades. I don't think hospitals have scaled with population growth over the decades. I don't think hospitals have inserted technologies. We've seen Telelock trying to do something there, but if you talk about the hospitals itself, people forget hospitals get a lot of funding from the governments, right? Especially in countries like Canada. I mean, healthcare is literally subsidized by the government, right? Specifically by taxes of citizens. But can you imagine, having all that tax money go there and not really have the most efficient system, or at least have, business-like type of approach where you want to have the most output for the less input? Yeah, that's food for thought, right? So another training center is about to open at Yale Medicine. As part of that effort, trainees will be sent to take part of inaugural program as we advance towards new modalities such as CRISPR companies must train skillful manpower at much fast pace. I'm not sure if this is. I think there's a saying for this, like count your eggs before they hatch. I think something like that, right? Where I think we're going a bit too far here. I mean, I understand being prepared here for it. I understand, the idea of being prepared, and I understand the novel idea of sort of saying something that makes sense, right? It is true infrastructure of hospitals are not geared for this type of wave of technology. It is true that doctors are not trained. It is also true that we'll have different type of companies that are going to try to change that, right, by training folks, and of course by having more funding from governments, and basically a sum of efforts, right? But I think ultimately, I think a lot of this here spills over from healthcare problems just as a whole, right? Where you have limited doctors, limited nurses, you have more patients due to diet, bad malnutrition, due to genetics, due to so many reasons. People are being called into hospitals. So yeah, I think this is an interesting article from Wall Street Journal. I think this is something really, really interesting. I think author Amy Marcus, I think they did something really interesting here. I never really saw it this way. But again, I think we shouldn't really, yeah, I think that expression, counting your eggs before they hatch, like that really, really, that's the only expression that can come in my mind right now. I don't know if anybody has a better expression, but we'll end this video like this, guys. As always, Yair, thank you so much for the article. I just wanted to make a video on this article. I took a look at it, said, hey, let's make a video on this. Something we haven't really talked about in our channel: the hospital, the infrastructure, the doctors, everything outside of CRISPR, but of course within the ecosystem of CRISPR, because without the latter, I mean, CRISPR is not going anywhere. I mean, you could have the best technology, but if nobody can deploy it at a scale, if you don't have the infrastructure to do it, then what's the point, right? So great article from Wall Street Journal. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, subscribe if you know, like this video if you value, and I'll see you guys during the week. Hopefully you had a beautiful Sunday. I had a busy one, so that's why a late video. I'll see you guys during the week. Thank you.